Yeah, and that's what people think of it, and it's not that, but it's so much more. Chiropractic is an entire discipline of healthcare. Um, so to me, and this is just a fun example, and I'm just having a little bit of fun with you. Like my dad was a dentist growing up, and so if you described a dentist by the tool they use, it'd be a drill. And so the adjustment is a tool that we use, one tool. We have lots and lots of tools we use, and yet my profession gets defined by that one tool. And there's so much more. I do blood work with patients a lot. We do nutrition counseling. I found about 3 years in my practice. I started as a sports chiropractor. Love working with athletes. I'm really good at helping athletes get back on the field very, very quickly. You fix muscles, you fix ligaments, you get blood supply back to that area, cause the alignment, and they are back in a short time. But about 3 years into practice, I'm seeing as many adult patients as I am or younger patients, younger athletes. And within the adult patients, I noticed that many adults were not responding very well to care. And I was doing, what I thought was a thorough job, but I was missing something. And what I was actually missing was these adult patients who did not respond to care that we're doing. They were in a heightened state of stress. So about 3 years into practice, I recognized that I wasn't treating migraine headaches. I wasn't treating back pain or neck pain, that I was actually treating the body's inability to adapt to stress. And so now symptoms come out. And so pain certainly is one of the symptoms: insomnia, anxiety, digestive issues, high blood pressure, you name it. They're all symptoms of the body's inability to adapt to stress. So now, 18 years later, since that point, it's been 18 years, I've been studying the physiology of stress. And so just finding new ways to address that. When I do virtual stuff, we talk about the symptoms, and they'll share what's going on, and I'll ask questions, and any more my ears can hear it. I hear stress, and then we know the physiology, we know what's happening. The physiology of stress is predictable. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, once the body goes into fight or flight, the physiology, the way the body responds, is 100% predictable. And what I found with these adult patients, and I'll pause in a moment, what I found with these adult patients that didn't respond to care is their body was in a chronic state of stress, and the nervous system had adapted to that being the new normal. And so yet they were chasing that stress. They're using coffee. They weren't sleeping well. They weren't exercising. They're coping by drinking alcohol or using something else. And so now they're spinning the wheel to keep up with what they're doing, and they're in a state of burnout. And so that's been my unique gift, is I can hear it, and I can help people strategize out of that burnout. Yeah, so it goes so much more. And there's principles that certainly I use from chiropractic, and I still do hands-on. I love working hands-on with people. Everything I've learned has come from hands-on, but there's so many applications that are virtual. And what I see, it's a gift. Just like I hear it in you. And I use the same approach. I have this intuition about what's happening, and I'm able to really help people solve complex problems. And I've learned to ask questions and listen. And ultimately, people, they want to be well. And ultimately helping them align the body, the mind, and the spirit becomes the way to quantum healing, we call it, to accelerate healing. I can help people solve complex issues and return their body back into balance, homeostasis. And as the body returns back to balance, all of a sudden they had energy that was leaking all over the place. And now when their body has energy again, we can refocus that energy into their values, into their mission, into their vision. And when people are working in their values, heading towards their vision, it connects them to this infinite energy. And so not only infinite energy is like good for healing and feeling well, but infinite energy connects us to our gifts, and it connects us to what is possible. And so now we're not only helping people one at a time, but helping families. If that dad or that mom feels energized and they feel like everything they do is purposeful and intentional, their interaction with their children is better. When they are business owners and they feel well and their family's doing well, their interactions in their business is better. And so they improve their bottom lines. So the unique skill set that I bring is I'm targeting business owners looking through the lens of burnout. I think there's a lot of us that are in some state of burnout. Some recognize it, And many do not recognize the burnout, and I want to help them.
Mm-hmm.
I've become very, very good at helping people get out of pain. But here's what I've noticed is, someone gets out of pain, they're happy. The clinical model says that's the finish line. And what I have learned is you get that person out of pain, and 6 months later, 8 months later, 10 months later, they come back in, and it's the same pain pattern that shows up. And I've learned to see the body, mind, and spirit in a unique way. That a lot of these pains, they're spirit, well, I say spiritual, they're patterns in the nervous system. And so if we don't rewire the patterns, they're going to circle back to pain again and again and again. And I believe I've become very philosophic about pain, but pain is a teacher. We get a rock in our shoe, that pain tells us, hey, there's something down there. And if we learn to listen to that pain and answer that pain, our bodies are well. And so getting people out of pain is the beginning. This next venture that I'm really interested in is helping people first get out of pain, get their blood numbers right, get their bodies right, but then help them connect their nervous system to new patterns. Because we are born into patterns. You look at culturally, you see, Russian cultural patterns, American cultural patterns, religiously we have patterns. So we are caught in these patterns and we're living largely unconsciously. And so reconnecting people to patterns that serve them, that's what I want to do. And that's what I'm doing with my business leaders. And so I'm seeking entrepreneurs, I'm seeking business owners, I'm looking for people that are people of impact to serve them at a high level. Because if I can serve them, which I have, if I can serve them at a high level, the people that are in their circle of influence also rise. And so I think we're really looking at the same avatars as people that we want to serve. But I've created this is for longevity, but I've created what's called the Wheel of Wealth. And so, the term wealth, we think of in Western culture for sure, we think of wealth as financial, as money. And yet the word wealth means a condition of wellness. And so in the Wheel of Wealth, there are 7 spokes on the wheel. And so it's physical health, it's mental and emotional health, it's familial health, social, vocational, financial, and spiritual. So these are 7 spokes in that wheel. And so I potentially could bring that Wheel of Wealth forward and speak to those frameworks. And here's the value of it. If we are all wealthy in at least one of those areas. And so that's an important thing first to identify where we're already wealthy, where we already have abundance. So we're not starting from a place of scarcity and lack. And I'm speaking to the stress centers of the nervous system, because when we're talking about scarcity, lack, and not having enough, we're automatically in a fight or flight state. And so we're not able to access the prefrontal cortex, or the problem-solving part of our nervous system. And so we start from where we're wealthy, and ideally a good wheel should have 4 spokes that are strong. So we build first the 4 spokes. And as we put energy or effort into each one of those spokes, that wheel starts to turn. And so, yes, you do cover the financial spoke very, very well, but you speak into so much more. These business owners that are asking for your help, they are in high stress, they are in high need, and their physical health is declining, their mental and emotional health is declining, their familial health is certainly declining, their social circles are shrinking because if they're not doing well financially or struggling, they're if it's especially men, tend to isolate themselves. So something I'm doing that I feel might be like this, again, would lend itself very well to, is I am building on the platform or Patreon, and there's another platform I use as well called Healerverse. But this is, it's garnering members. So there's a free tier of just like basic information, but there's a paywall where people pay a subscription amount, but we're bringing information and valuable things for them. So like this has some good frameworks for that. I've designed or created a few different courses, curriculum. One is lowering the blood pressure naturally. Another one is called Vision Quest. It helps, it's designed for teenagers. Another one's designed for entrepreneurs and business owners, but it helps them extract their core values, put together a mission and a vision. I describe the neuroscience around that, why that's important. And I teach another course around longevity. And so I can see this, a similar format, but maybe quite useful, especially I love the animation idea of shooting modules for those courses specific.